Hello everyone, my name is Paperslayer and today we're going to talk about very advanced level stuff that you are going to have to do at some point. So it's better to start preparing from now on. These are habits that you need to start preparing for right now. So in future when you get to that level, it's much easier to get to that level and to stay in that level, at that level, whatever. So number one is try to solve your own problems when it comes to art. Okay? Everybody is going to do different things. Everybody is going to want different things from their art. For me, I want to do coloring, I want to do texturing, and I want to do lighting. These three things are the stuff that I really want to focus on in my own drawings, right? So my journey or my problems are going to be very different from the guy next to me. Maybe he is doing watercolors, or maybe he's working with pastels, or maybe he's just doing scribbles or whatever. So everybody has their own mediums or their own ideas when it comes to art, and everybody is going to have different problems, and not all the solutions for those problems are available on the internet, because you have to understand that a lot of people are beginners compared to a lot of people who are advanced. There is a very small majority of people who are very advanced. There is a larger majority of people who are average, and there is a vast majority of people who are beginners. And there is nothing wrong with that. So it is obvious that most people are going to make guides or tutorials that are catered to those new people or the beginners. So as you start working on yourself, working on your art, eventually you are not going to be a beginner anymore. You are going to be, let's say, an average person when it comes to art. So when you are average, the amount of tutorials that are available to you at that point are going to go down drastically. And as you go from those average levels to that advanced level, you are not going to have any tutorials whatsoever available to you, because there is a very small majority of people who are very advanced, and those people aren't going to waste their time making tutorials for nobody really. So how do you stop yourself from looking at tutorials, and how do you actually start solving your own problems? So solving your own problems requires trial and error. People who play Dark Souls understand this very well. You have to do trial and error a few times for you to understand how colors work, how a certain problem that you are facing, and to overcome that problem eventually. So you start now by not looking at tutorials, by solving your own problems now. If you are going to have problems and you are absolutely are not able to overcome it, then sure, go ahead, look at some tutorials, that is completely fine. But do not completely rely on it. If you completely rely on tutorials, then you completely destroy your own power to solve problems. Art and everything in life requires problem solving skills. No matter what you're doing, it requires problem solving. For me, let's say I am drawing a certain texture. It could be anything. Even water has a texture when you draw it. Okay? So everything is going to have a texture. Let's say I am going to draw this cement wall, okay? Concrete wall. So a concrete wall isn't always like completely plain. Before you put the plaster on that wall, it is going to be like very, I don't know what's the word, let's say crispy. Okay? It would be like a crispy chicken. So how do you get that crispy chicken wall? So you have to first, for me, for my own experience, I have to touch that wall and I have to feel it. Once I feel the texture of that wall, there is a good understanding in my head that ideas come into my head how to actually recreate that wall, right? The texture of that wall. So it's a personal thing that I go through whenever I want to create a certain texture or a certain lighting. If it's a lighting issue, then I recreate that lighting, or I try to recreate it as close to as I can into my room with like torches and mobile cameras and all that, sorry, mobile flashes and all that. So I deploy a lot of different ideas that I have and see which one sticks and see which one doesn't. Once I realize which one works, I try to recreate that again, but with better proficiency. And if there are all failures, then I try to see which one got as close to the outcome that I wanted, and then I try to better that particular formula, right? So for you, you need to start doing the same thing, not exactly like touching everything, but observing everything around you. The more you observe things, the more ideas you have in your head, and you need to have ideas how to actually, go through with other stuff. Let's say you are having problem with line problems. Okay? You are drawing a line and it's not working out. It's not going straight. So what do? You hold your hand like basic idea, like form ideas in your head, like you hold your hand for stability and then you draw a line, right? You don't need to watch a tutorial for it. It just comes to you instinctively, and if it doesn't, then there is a problem. But the thing is that we are humans and we can solve our own problems most of the time. If at a certain point when you truly cannot, then you can go and ask other people. That is completely fine. But if you completely rely on other people or other YouTube videos to help help you solve your own problems, then that isn't going to lead you anywhere. So number one thing, learn to solve your own problems however you can. It doesn't matter how much time it takes. Even if it's a small problem and you are having a lot of trouble trying to fix it, that is completely fine. Take your own time. Art is not like, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's not even a marathon, it's a walk. So you walk at your risk space. You walk at a normal pace, at a comfortable pace, and you just enjoy the walk. That is what art is. You enjoy the nature around you and you have fun. Okay? So take your time, understand the problem, and then try to solve it. If you don't understand the problem, then you are not going to be able to solve it, right? So whatever problem that you are having, sit down, open your mind and think about it. Do not just open YouTube and try to Google it the very instant you have a problem. Try to fix it, try to think about it, and if it doesn't work, then go on YouTube and try to find a problem. Try to solve that problem. So that's how problem solving works. And if you want to be really good at art someday, then you have to be able to understand how to solve your own problems. Otherwise, you are not going anywhere.